it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I have been looking for a great drugstore option for my much beloved Jouer High Essential Coverage Concealer. I'm on a mission. I want to find a less expensive option. I'll link for you above where I recently tried the new e.l.f. Hydro Camo Concealer, or Hydrating Camo Concealer, whatever it's called. And I liked that one a lot. It held up really well during the day. And I thought the other one that I picked up recently, I'd like to try today. This is the Revolution Hydrate and Conceal Radiant Concealer with Hyaluronic Acid. Both of those like ticking the box, high coverage and hydrating. And that's what's so great about the Jouer. This one, like, I'm to the point now where I had to take the stopper out because I was like, I want all of it. But it's not going to be in play today. I am going to use just this, and just this is the only coverage on my face. A lot of times I like to find a concealer that I can use where I need it, redness and some other discolorations, but not like full on spackle with a full face because I don't always have time for that. So I'm going to get started with this. I will put on the rest of my face and we'll talk about what it looks like. By the way, if you're curious, I use the shade C3. I learned recently, I need a mirror, excuse me, I'm not very pulled together today, that the shade range is the same amongst all of their concealers. And there's another one that they have that I like quite a bit that is, what is it? Their fast-based concealer, I think that's what it's called. So I'm just gonna dab this on. Got a little hyperpigmentation spot there. I've got a couple here, dark spot at the corner of my eye, and here a little bit on the center of my nose. You know what's funny is I don't feel like I'm getting as much product out as I do on the Jouer doe foot. It looks like a lot of product, but we're just gonna bounce it in. And I'm using the Flower Beauty sponge today. Maybe we should have started out by doing just half the face to see how much coverage is there. High coverage. I heard really good things about just their regular high coverage concealer, but I did hear that it was drying, and that's the one thing I don't want in a concealer, because that's what Shape Tape does. And Shape Tape and I used to get along, and then I found something I liked more. And the older I get, I'm 45 now, I need the hydration under the eyes or it just looks really, really like desert dry, like giant craggly cracks. I always try and get here into the inner corner and tap this out. I was about to put on my Magic Vanish from Charlotte Tilbury, the color corrector's like, wait, don't do that. You want to know what this looks like all on its own. It's not bad, actually. This is nice. I feel like I've got some good coverage. Now, I can always build up more, but I try to err on the side of not too much. The one thing that I'll tell you is the Jouer concealer requires me to wear foundation with it. It is so high coverage that it doesn't blend to nearly nothingness. And I feel like it's very easy to blend. I like that. I liked that about the e.l.f. one as well. And I feel like it's just enough coverage, but not so much. So I'm going to throw some powder on, get the rest of my face done, and we'll be back to talk. So this Conceal and Hydrate from Revolution I think is great. As I look closer at the packaging here, it says Radiant Concealer with Hyaluronic Acid and Acai, and then it says medium / full coverage. Now, I did not put on a full coverage amount. I put on what I thought was a fairly reasonable layer, pounced it in with this guy here, and as you can see, there's not a ton of it on the sponge. It did pick up some of it. I feel like the coverage is good. You still can see just a hair right here of this. I don't feel like I have like the really heavy darkness. I have a little spot here that always kind of shines through, unless I really am wearing a lot of makeup. I feel like it did okay covering my hyperpigmentation spot, but like the rest of the redness around my nose, some of the discoloration I have right here from years of acne in those exact spots. I have some leftover hyperpigmentation there. I feel like it really took care of it in an adequate way. I don't think it's as high coverage as my favorite from Jouer. This Essential High Coverage Concealer is on a different level. Now, I don't know how it's gonna wear. But I will tell you, as I was powdering it today, I wanted to give it its best chance. So I pulled out what is the powder that I love the most, works the best for me on any foundation concealer, a loose powder. And it is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And this is a beautiful powder, but I did notice, and I don't have any setting spray on my face, and it might make all the difference in the world. But as I'm looking right here, I do feel like just some of those light little crinkly areas under my eyes that are always there, they're a little bit more noticeable with this concealer on. And I don't feel like this concealer is as hydrating as I was hoping it would be. I definitely feel the Jouer is more hydrating. I do think that $6 e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer is a little bit more hydrating. Now, only worn this once. The one thing I do love about this is since it is medium to full coverage, I'm sure you get more coverage out of it if you were to layer it up, like pounce it in, another layer, continue to pounce it in. This shade C3 perfectly blends from concealer to no concealer, and I don't feel like there's a really noticeable line on my face. And I love wearing concealer and powder only on so many like days of the year. It's like my favorite method for just enough, not too much, and it wears well because then it doesn't ever look cakey, or you know, if I rub my nose, I don't feel like I have to worry about disrupting any foundation. I do love a more minimal look, and this is, I think, a great shade for me, and I do think that that medium to full coverage consistency blended nicely from concealer to bare skin, and that line is not obvious at all. That's what I liked about their fast base concealer that comes with the sponge tip applicator. I think that's a beautiful, but it's a lot more medium coverage than this. This is more medium full. I would say the other one is more light to medium coverage, but they both do a great job. And I do love how this shade is exactly what I need. So I think I'll have to get back to you as to whether my eyes continue to look drier and a little more crepey as the day goes on, or whether it just kind of blends in with my natural face oils and looks gorgeous. I'm hoping for the latter. So let me know if there is a certain type of product you're trying to find a less expensive alternative to, a dupe if you will, at the drugstore, what your favorite item is, what you're hoping you are going to be able to dupe it with, or if you've tried what has worked or what hasn't. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.